On the other side of the coin, what we saw in Wisconsin was beneath us as Americans. We are not suppressed. We are not oppressed. We are a civilized nation. We are civilized people. The teachers resorted to uncivilized means to effect change. Do not get me wrong, I support free speech 100%. That is one of the aspects of being civilized people in a civilized nation. But revolting, as the teachers did, is beneath us. It is uncivilized. Again, humans are not perfect, nor is humanity. It is full of good and evil, right and wrong. We conservatives do not put trust in mere benevolence. That is why the framers of the Constitution included restrictions, political checks and balances, adequate enforcement of laws, all of which the conservative believes to be instruments of freedom and order and civility. A just government maintains a healthy tension between claims of authority and liberty. We conservatives understand that permanence and change must be recognized and reconciled in a vigorous society. There are two forces that influence a healthy society: its permanence and its progression. Hope, change, growth, and renewal. These are not only critical, but essential in society and to us humans. For when we cease to renew ourselves, to grow and develop, evolve, if you will, we begin to die. Any change must be methodical and gradual, otherwise change produces a monstrous growth, a cancer that devours. Will Durant said that civilization begins with order, grows with liberty, and dies with chaos. Richard Lamb, the former governor of Colorado, said that we have an unbalanced community in favor of individualism, responsibility in favor of rights, and duties in favor of privileges. We want education without study. We want freedom without participation. And we want democracy without citizenship. We must self-correct or perish. Ladies and gentlemen, simply put, our public officials, employed, elected, and appointed, those who are paid, elected, and or appointed, need to solve the problems, seal the leaks without raising taxes. They work for us, you and me. We do not work for them. We are the owners. We are the taxpayers. They need to be good stewards of our money. They need to do their jobs just like a single mother. Get it done within the available means to do so, knowing that raising taxes is not an option. Let them take a pay cut instead of penalizing the people. Pain focuses the mind. They need to embrace fiscal prudence and stewardship. They need to do their jobs or be replaced with someone who can and will do the job in a fiscally responsible manner. We as citizens need to keep them accountable. Thank you. Now I know that was a mouthful, but I would like for you folks to ask questions. I'm not a policy guy. My background is business. Plain and simple. I'm interested in government taking our tax dollar, using it wisely, effectively, and efficiently, and then doing what it is supposed to do and impact positively and affect our lives. That's what I care about. That's what I know about in business. My purpose in business was to generate as much of a profit as I could generate. And it was through efficiency that I did that. Our government is not efficient.
No way.
But what they want is more tax money so that they can waste more money.
I'm going to ask you that, because Mr. Lackey has a lot of knowledge on some of these specific subjects, and I want you to go one-on-one with him and take advantage of that. I want to thank Mr. Lackey for coming today. I did not know that he was coming. I thought the Fair Tracks guy was coming, and I thought Mike Jones was coming, and I
He'll
thought,
beat Mike Jones any day.
yeah, well, I don't doubt it.
Well, I'm not a professional speaker and I'm not a politician.
And Senator Hawley was supposed to be
We
here.
don't want a politician.
So I encourage you folks that have email or want to take the telephone up to call Mr. Jones and call Mr. Hawley and ask them why they weren't here when they said they would be here.
Because
I
they don't
don't,
really mean what they say.
That's a good start for a politician, isn't it?
Well, if I may, I have to stress something here that I raised early on.
They're not supposed
I am sure everyone here owns a stock in some publicly traded company. Am I right?
to. Used to.
Okay. Our government is a business, and we are the owners of that business. Okay, we are the stockholders, and we elect members of the legislature to be the board of directors. And then we have the executive branch, which is the management function of our business. So once you understand and you look at it from that perspective, it tends to change how you perceive things. Again, I have to go back. Someone, there was supposed to be a member of the House and the Senate here. But just because someone is a good legislator does not necessarily mean that they will be a good executive, and vice versa. Yet we tend to want to promote from within. If somebody's been a member of the House or a member of the Senate, we typically say, okay, well, let's elect them as governor, or let's elect them as president. Well, that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I could be a good board of director guy. I am a pretty good implementer. And the reason I was a good implementer is primarily that I did not care how I was perceived. My job was to do a job. Plain and simple. When I would walk into a company, I'd say, look, don't blame me. It was broke when I got here. My job is to fix it. And if you don't like me, here's some motivation for you. This is where it is, and this is where it needs to be. When it gets right here, I'm gone. So therein lies your motivation to work harder to get me out of here quicker. And that's the way that our elected officials should be. They should come in, roll up their sleeves, get the job done, and then get out. Public service is not a career. It is not a career. Now, I know that you served in the military, but for the most part, people in the armed forces would do their tour and then go on. And what we need we need people who will come in and do the job and then get out of the way. We have people, and I'm not being disparaging to anybody, but people such as John McCain, Ted Kennedy, Robert Byrd, who served for decades and decades and decades. That's not what we need, ladies and gentlemen. Regardless of party affiliation. We need people who will go in, do it, and get out. And that's what's missing now. Everybody wants to get in, and then they get in, and it's almost like they have a drug machine in there, and they get everybody hooked.
And they don't need to make income off of that for the rest of their life when they're off.
That's right.
They can go get another job.
Well, they can, and that's what they need to do. But this is exactly what this foundation is focused on. It is focused on the business model, the business administration of government. Evaluating where shortcomings are and making the necessary people aware. And then if they don't do anything about it, to make the media and the people aware. Because the solution is not to get more of our money so that they can waste more of it. Again, I go back to the house that's on fire. Do you clog up the holes to eliminate the leaking and the bleeding? Or do you just force more, or do you force more water through, waste more? They need to stop the bleeders.